Charlie? Not doing, oh, okay, make sure.
Holy,
Hello, how are you?
it's good.
Good.
Well, the legislature's not in session, or is they? Yes, they are.
I think they're out Monday, right? Don't they break for winter break?
Yeah,
Again, Monday.
pretty soon here. Yeah, Monday's President's Day, so the kids are out of school.
They, and I was thinking, and then you got Blakeman who asked, what, 6 people to be his lieutenant governor? One
Nobody would
accepts and
take him up
drops.
on it.
Well, one accepts and drops out 2 days later. Maybe the Madison County Sheriff or sheriff from out this way, out in the western part of the state, right? And then the Times breaks the story. with-
Somebody who a lot of people thought was very vulnerable. She's really dug in.
Who's that, the governor?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. And it's amazing her fundraising operation for someone who's kind of quiet and subtle, the exact opposite of her predecessor,
all right.
the way Andrew was. The paper just reported today, she's sitting on over $20 million.
Yeah.
Well, no man's person or treasure is safe. The legislature is in session.
Till Friday. Who's a lot of people on this are concerned about his Tom DiNapoli's primary.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah, and I've worked with him. He's a delightful man and runs.
He is a nice guy. Yeah.
Very.
Actually, that whole office is nice.
Yep.
Kim's got a friend down there that's an incredibly polite public employee. Right?
At OSC.
Yeah. You know, particularly since we just get off a call with SED and then we get these guys on the phone and they're very polite.
Oh. A couple of years back, I was on the phone with them and I said to the guy scheduling my retirement call that I had put off and waiting till I hit 55. And the guy says to me, "You're married, your wife's age, blah, blah, blah." He says, "You have no choices. You have to cover her." And he says, "This is a real short call." He says, "I don't need to go through any. Here's what you have. You got 30 years in, but you don't have any choices. Your wife's age, you have to have hers, and you can move on to it." Now, it was funny. I was coming back literally from the hospital with my wife in the car with my son. And the gentleman at the controller's office says, "Yep, there's 10 different options. None of them fit you other than this one. This one works best." So, no, thank you. I appreciate your candor.
Yeah.
His opening line, Tom, was we're talking and I'm in speakerphone in the car. This is married on night. He says, "Do you like your wife?" I said, "She'd like me to say I love her right now. We're in the car." He says, "You have one option." So thank you, sir.
So
You should get
Kim,
Employee of the Year.
yeah, Kim Jones is not going to be here, we know. So
Miles,
where is the
not on the other end of a Zoom screen. How are you, Bill?
I'm good. How are you?
material that's Kim
Good.
Jones would ordinarily.
Third page. Second or third page.
Oh, it is the very beginning.
Talking about how warm it is out.
Unseasonably so, yeah.
Well,
After the minutes.
pardon me?
After the minutes.
Aha.
Oh, you're right.
None of them. Good. Got snow around Syracuse for a half hour. They're all salty. Well, it's good.
Boy, this stuff is small. Yeah.
I have the bigger one in there.
Yeah, would you?
Pretty much. Going someplace last week, it was Buffalo and then down to Ellicottville. I was cutting across the southern part. Down 86.
Yeah, and down.
That was a real pleasant ride.
That's a nice ride.
And ended up in getting on 88 in
Albany,
Binghamton.
took from Albany down to, I think get off at where, 81, there's like, was it, I'm near, somewhere. That's what.
And I went by and they slowed down. I was reading the sign. There's a very big glider.
Yes. I know what it is.
Significant
I know, yeah.
physical structure, and so I was reading it, and then I'm like,
Yes.
oh, it's for gliders.
Yes, I know. Yep.
And then when I went further southwest, that was Madison, what county I was in, but the amount of wind generation turbines all on the horizon, you can see more than you can count.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, probably. I think Tug Hill has a few more than that. I know. What you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's.
I used to snowmobile out in Tug Hill. It's a prime place for
Yeah.
wind generation. We represent the offshore wind and compliance company at don't ever call them windmills. He says,
What do you call them,
these are wind generated turbines. He says they're a reason why they cost $20 million.
Who makes the most? Is it Germany? Who makes the most?
So we've been involved in different size projects. So GE by far has the best
Really?
technology. But there are ones out of China that are 1 to 3 million. And the way that the client was explaining, the amount of electric that they generate, what they and GE makes their blades. It's interesting living in the Albany area in Brazil. Ship them to Albany. Well, you have to close roads so big to truck them to refinish the edges, and that's done in Schenectady.
No.
And then they go out. Yeah. But way of explaining it to me. Technology that they have. The issue is it's so expensive without the tax incentives. They're much more efficient, but you still got to overcome that tens of millions of dollars of infrastructure cost. The offshore ones we're doing.
I was just thinking
The
about that.
poles,
The ones,
the
yeah.
towers, as they'll tell you, they're 180 feet below the water surface. So you think of the size, that's why they have to be built on the water, because you can't move them anyplace else. So they're built in the South Brooklyn terminal and then shipped
150 feet down.
below. Yeah, and then they have to get into the bedrock
Right.
to tie
Which
it
probably
in.
another, what, 20, 30 feet.
One would get, sure. And it's so funny. So it's the company is Equinor. It's all publicly traded company. It's all public what we're doing for them. Twice now, they've had to deal with the federal administration's change of positions dealing with wind turbine. So at one point, they issued a stop work saying that the permits were issued without the right environmental concern bubble. The client was so concerned getting a stop work from the government, US government, they're a foreign entity. They moved all their ships into orders for 7 weeks. And then
To overcome that.
well, they were afraid, they didn't know what was going to happen. And then ultimately the stop work was lifted. Project's about 2.5 billion in construction already. It'll be close to 8 billion when it's done. Hello.
Oh, it wasn't.
Pepin,
Hey, Chairman.
your hands full there.
Yes.
So tell me, Pepin, do you get twice as many calls if you have two phones?
That, this is a personal, so he's not, I'm pretty used to it.
Is that right? Yeah, I suppose. Your, when we get to the resolutions here for serial bonds, I'm gonna ask you to sort of tell us where that is in the process. What we're doing, where the whole project is, not in detail.
Just a summary.
And the two amendments to agreements, are those, wrapping up the addition or are they something else?
There will be something else for east. This is just for those.
In Douglas,
And we still have
but is this,
this one now.
what,
But this one.
yeah, what's the subject? The subject matter is the additional
The
work
extension,
of,
the 1 point. Yeah, probably. The 7 was what?
yes.
It's very exclusive.
What?
It's like they don't want to be near us.
Growing up as one of 7, we had a children's table problem. We're waiting to graduate to the adult table.
The kids table.
Yeah, that was a big deal in my house when you got to go to the adult table.
Spain, right?
I have, yes.
Just got back.
You go Barcelona? I was there with the island or something. Do you know what was best? Lisbon. That was nice.
You went skiing.
With skiing.
Skiing
No,
up
no.
in France.
I was in France a few times. Yeah.
I think Black usually.
You know. Give it to me the paper. Yeah.
And how are you? All right. You too. Are you, enjoying a little relief here in the fire? No? Is that right? Is it, well, we'll have bouts of weather like that. Run down, you know, eventually start to break. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
I'm good, man, and you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Yeah.
Just finished with you.
What's that?
I just finished with that.
Yeah. That's association.
No, I mean, did you watch the Syracuse game at noon? Yes, over the weekend? No? Good, because they lost. Yeah.
Both, all three teams, boys, girls, all of them.
Everybody lost, yeah.
Yeah.
She can be.
They keep losing. The games are close, but they're still, there's still a loss. Somebody ought to tell them that close ones don't count.
Rumor has it his days are numbered.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Carmelo went up after him.
As he doesn't bother Coach Jack, I'm okay. As he doesn't bother Felicia, I'm okay.
She lost 2 games too. So.
Hey, Kim, how we doing here? I can't
We do have a
pick
quorum.
up the people that are on the screen there.
We do have a quorum.
Do you have a quorum? Good. We'll call a meeting to order. And entertain a motion as our first item of business to approve the minutes of the previous meeting of January 13th. Been moved
Second.
and seconded. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The next item is the pay requisition. Kim Jones, our treasurer, is unable to be with us today. She's got a council meeting she goes to. So however adequate, I'm going to try to fill in here in her stead. We're talking here about the disbursements or authorized payments for the month of January. The first item to be for that is Anshin, which is $26,327. Second is Bon Shenik King, which is $6,097. Next item is Buffalo Constructor Consultants. The amount is $14,964. Next item is also, also Buffalo Construction, same amount. Next item is Erden Anthony, there are 3. They're smaller, $1,112, $3,188, $3,812. Holly Construction Consultants, that's our insurance advisor, $150. 7 engineers, $237,866. SBR Architecture, $26,716. Watts Engineering, $35,878. That's it for the disbursements for the month of January. Questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve them as presented.
Make a motion.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded. Any further questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, we'll move on to the other action items on the agenda today. The first of which is item number 3, which has to do with the refinancing bonds that are in process. So Pepin, you want to tell us a little bit about where we are in that and what this particular document we're approving here where it fits in?
Okay, sure. So this transaction roadmap is for refunding the callable maturities phase 1, 2013 and 2015 serial bonds. We spoke about that for a few months now. An application was submitted to COMIDA, the IDA, 2 weeks ago and acknowledged. The first draft of the basic financing documents was circulated by bond counsel last week for review by the team. And we've had a series of working sessions with the school district, the RJSCB reps, and several attorneys, including Ed in his office as attorney for the RJSCB and Comida Council. So with your approval today, Board of Ed's approval this month or next month, and Comida's approval at the end of the next month, we will seek the mayor's and city council approval by May 19th. The current plan is to complete pre-closing by June 9th and actual closing on June 10th. So this roadmap pretty much is going to be Series 2026. We've made a presentation to the school district, to Mr. McDowell's office last month, and to the RJSCB. And with your approval, we'll seek the Board of Ed's resolution to move forward.
Give us some idea of the money, how much is involved here.
A few months ago, it was a bit higher. I don't have the presentation in front of me, but I believe the refunding would yield about, I think it was 2.3 million from what I remember. Is that correct, Rob? Yeah. So, and that amount is actually to pay cash for projects that are still aidable by the state or any capital project the district decides to do, but it has to be a capital project.
Mhm. Yeah, and obviously that number bounces around depending on the interest rate when we refinance.
Yes, sir.
But I just think people need to have some idea of the magnitude of what we're doing here. And a lot of work goes into this refinancing, a lot of paperwork, a lot of legal work. So it needs to be worth it. It needs to be worth it. Okay. Any comments or questions? Robert, you want to say anything about it?
No, I'm happy with the process, because obviously, anytime we can achieve savings, we're gung ho. Slightly disappointed that we have to push this out to like a June closing, but the timing is what it is. Most important part is, as Mr. Pepin said, this will allow the district to pursue other capital projects. And that's something that the superintendent is looking forward to because our buildings have needs.
Good. Other questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution as submitted.
I'll move.
Moved,
I'll second.
seconded. Other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 4, the amendment to the SWBR agreement
Well,
for
this-
Wilson. And then you probably can explain at the same time as the number 5, because they both arise out of the same set of circumstances.
So both of them are amendments to SWBR to include the expanded scope in their contract for design services at both Wilson and Douglas. For Wilson, the original contract was 6.63% of the fixed limit of construction costs. So with this additional $1,021,024, the fee percentage is now exactly 6%, because I know Ron is going to ask me about the percentage of the actual closing of the slightly lower than the original percentage. For the second one, for Douglas, Amendment 1, the original fee was about 6.5% of the fixed limit of construction. The updated contract reflects a 6.34% of the new total aggregate. So this is again what was done last month with other consultants. This is to add scope to their contract.
Yeah, the scope we're adding here is the change in the second legislation that added 125 million to the project. So that means we were able to go around and distribute the money according to the needs, some of which had been options in the first grow. So by adding that work, we've added some work. We have to pay the architect for it.
And if you remember, Enshan had asked to table these two last month until he works out the diversity requirements with SWBR.
Yes.
Brian, anything?
Please, yep, so reached out and worked with Kimberly to pull these last month, so you saw them on the agenda and then off. And the issue was there were some challenges they had to overcome. They've significantly done that on the, let me talk about both of them together. On the first one, they increased their percentage by 5 points. So it got us to a total of 31.70 with a commitment as to how they're going to close that gap. But we're now very comfortable recommending them and worked very closely with the program management team and the architects to get them there, but they're there. And then on the second one, they didn't have a compliance plan, so we worked with them to get their numbers in. So they're both now in very good shape compared to where we were. So a lot of effort went in, and we appreciate everybody's attention to detail and their commitment to getting it done.
Okay, questions or comments? We probably should vote separately on these because they're amending their contracts. Number 4 is amendment number 2 to the SWBR agreement as detailed in the material circulated and also the presentation. I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
Make the motion. Approve.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then item number 5, which is the amendment number 1 to the SWBR agreement, in this case for Douglas Middle School. That material was also submitted along with the packet. Any questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Jesse. And Ron, any further questions? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, that gets us to the ICO report, and we're now into the non-action discussion items.
Good afternoon, everyone. So the information I'm presenting today is our December data. Keep in mind that they filed that by January 15th. We work on it. Here's your numbers. So as of January 27th, we had received just over 98% of the requested documentation for the December reporting period. We caught up on some of the other documentation that was missing from November. So we're currently at 99.39% of all the requested documentation has been in and been analyzed and is in the report here. So when we look at our workforce analysis data, minority work hours for the month of December, 913. Non-minority women, 234. Non-minority male, 956 hours, for a total of 2,103 work hours on the project, which brings the total work hours to date to 56,129 hours. Comparison goals overall, hours work, looking at it traditionally, minority, both male and female, a goal of 23%. We're at 37.93%. Women, non-minority only, a goal of 7%, and we're currently at 13.63. So when we break it up and look at it slightly different and look at the comparison of the goals worked with the female participation analysis expanded, minority male only, using the same goal of 23%, we're still at 26.53. Women, minority and non-minority, with a goal of 7%, and we're at 23.75% of that. And just to give you an idea, phase 2 had about 1.5 million work hours, and phase 1 had just under 2 million work hours. So when I say we're at 56,000, there's an awful lot to go ahead of us. So these percentages obviously can change. Our total contract value, dollar value to date is $87,671,965 for contract value. Of that, our MBE commitment is 30%, currently is at 30.2 6.34% or $26,601. Our WBE is currently at 8.48% against a goal at 12%. Our MBE was a goal at 18%, but against a goal of 12%, we're currently at 8.48, and we have 7,432,000 in contractual commitments. Our SBE is a goal of 2%. We're currently at 1.78% or $1,562,000. Our DBE also has a goal of 2%. We're currently at 2.97 for a total of $2,603,000. Phase 3 does not have a requirement for tracking City of Rochester participation, but we do have all the certified payroll, so we are tracking that. During the month of December, there were 9 City of Rochester residents active on the project, which reflects 18% of the total of 50 individuals who were working on the project during the month of December. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you. Kim Mitchell, the fund balance report.
Thank you, Chairman Richards. We have all vendors coming in under budget currently. The billing for the insurance will be reflected next month. That was just paid this month, as well as the audit that will be presented to us in March. So right now, we're tracking very well towards next fiscal year. Those budgets will adjust in June. For the fund balance report, we started out with $12,026,685.60 in the account. Subtract this month's pay requisition total, we have a balance of $11,664,602.71. Total expended to date is $19,090,851.18. The RJSCB only expenses will adjust once we get the billings in for the audit and the insurance, but not very much because those were pretty much static. RSMP admin expenses coming in at $8,982,976 at 20% of the budget. And the RSMP construction costs, again, all soft costs currently at $10,089,629, which is 2% of the budget.
Any questions for Kim? The last document in that packet is the document that we use for the entire project. And shows it's updated instantly to show where we are with respect to all of the individuals and then the total. And you'll see that that's in that packet as well. Again, it's early in the project, so it's a little dangerous to draw too many conclusions from what you're looking at here, but what is important is we're keeping track of it. We are keeping track of it. Okay, project manager's report.
Mr. Chairman. So.
Now remember, Pepin, the rule, right? Only good news.
Okay. Right. So there are no hard construction costs, as Kim mentioned earlier, and nothing will happen until bids are awarded. As of last month, 11.37% of the total soft cost or incidental budget was spent, for $19,090,845 paid to date for consulting, financing the RJSCB operations, architects, and other consultants. With the current progress, the overall Phase 3 program is 3.18% complete, with 96.82% of the program to go over the next 7 years until 2033 per the extension. As far as the next document, and thank you, board, for adopting the resolution to move forward with the refunding revenue bonds, Series 2026. Last Friday, the Office of the State Controller reached out to the RJSCB and asked about status of the updated financial plan. And the RJSCB response is that we will submit the financial plan supplement to SED and the State Controller immediately after the preliminary submission is reviewed and approved by SED. As mentioned in previous months, SED requires preliminary submissions for all 6 Phase 3 projects at the same time with all the signatures that are required before any of the projects may proceed with subsequent interim submissions. The forms now include the extension the chairman mentioned earlier. The additional funds were spread across all 6 projects, and Terry prepared some of the forms. We've worked really hard with Chief Scott and his office in getting as many forms completed as possible. I think we're ready. We're just waiting for the demographic study update with the enrollment projections for the next 12 years, projections for all district schools to be prepared and approved by the district. The PM team has adjusted the schedules, and Terry's been working on the updated schedule for quite a while to account for the sliding of the times, where we can make up time and the delayed construction start and end dates for the first group of projects to the summer of 2027. As I mentioned, we spent a lot of time working with Chief Scott. Even last night, he was in his office pretty late until 8 p.m., helping us getting signatures. And I think you just mentioned that we'll have the BOCES district superintendent signatures very shortly. So that will advance this process very nicely. And Terry can assist you or whatever we need to do to kind of help expedite that process. After this meeting, I think Terry will share the FMP form with Chairman Richards so we can start the signature process. It's a bit of a good news. I know you want that. And the plan, if everything is resolved this month, is to submit to SED the last day of this month, February 27th. Again, this is predicated on the demographic enrollment study. Rick, you had everything you needed from Dr. McKibben as far as the GIS mapping, geocoding, or no?
I believe we have everything we need. Yeah, we just have to have people look at it and make sure that it's correct. And then he'll come up and put the final report together. The final report.
Dr. McKibben is the demographer.
Yes, sir.
Who we're referring to there.
Yep.
So the thing we're still waiting for from the demographer who's waiting for us as a team is the improved projections that we're looking for. So we still need to meet with the district on the improvements that are needed and then the direction to the demographer. Then he can finalize the projections that we need to justify the building aid units and the aid that we need to justify the classrooms that we have.
Sir, has there been any implication on from the demographer as far as some of the schools closing? Have those numbers realistically changed that much?
That's not something that we're evaluating. We're only dealing with the 6 buildings in the program.
Right.
And the district, SED is required that the district work on a building closure plan. And they've required the submission of that plan by August of this year. So that's when that's going to wind up developing. So, between now and August, the district will be working on, what the enrollment looks like, what their building seats are looking like, so what they need, and then coming up with a projection of what they think they have for closures. And then that will get submitted to the state, and then there will be discussions between the state and the district on what that, what that means to them. and
Will
what
those
they'll
numbers
accept.
impact some of the classrooms that we have in the 6 schools?
I can't answer that question right now because the closure plan and the discussions with SED haven't gone that far. Right now, we're just trying to get the projections to justify the classrooms we have in the buildings we're working on. And then, and trying to do that, with the district in a way that doesn't pressure the other buildings. We're not looking to empty a building to fill these up as an example.
Thanks. Yeah.
But it does influence it, of course. I mean, and the filing by the district in August about a plan needs to be consistent with the plan that we're implementing here with respect. So yes. One of the ways we're approaching it though is that let's take the project we've been struggling with in terms of justification, in terms of population. It's been school 9. We're only doing one elementary school. Unless you believe we're going to close all the elementary schools, we wouldn't get into the middle of that fight. But that's going to happen. That discussion is going to happen. And we need to figure out a way to make sure what we do here supports the district's ultimate plan.
As far as individual project updates, nothing really has changed. Dr. Martin Luther King School 9, the SED paperwork has been prepared. We've identified bid alternates. Again, nothing new unless, Rick, there's something that happened between last month and this month, was nothing much to report. So the only thing is, I think the swing space, we've received the go-ahead from Mr. Scott to survey the swing spaces, and we're moving forward. Wilson commencement, same thing, nothing changed. We've been meeting with the architects on advancing what we can advance very carefully, so we don't, do too much and undo things depending on what SED tells us after their review. Again, the swing space location was changed. There may be some additional services from SWBR to kind of do the work to prep for the swing space to help the facilities department or RCSD. Padilla at Franklin, same thing. The paperwork's prepared. Terry's ready to present the forms to the chairman to start the signature process. The school will be occupied during construction, so there's a challenge there, a little departure from where we started in the strategic plan. And we continue to do the scope and cost reconciliation at Padilla. Edison is a challenge. I'm gonna ask you, Terry, to give an update on Edison. Paperwork continues. I think we've met with several entities already. Anything you want to add in terms of the progress?
Just that we need final verification on the alternates that we've suggested for the base project to be at budget and alternates developed for bidding. But we have the project, the base on the budget. I just need verification that's acceptable.
So we met with Chief Scott and his team. We started with an overage at Edison, which was pretty significant. Since then, we made some significant progress, reducing the overage.
Yeah.
We're down now to a project we think is possible.
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Scott, as soon as you complete your review with your team, we'll move forward. As far as East, again, we're having meetings with the end users. That started.
We're about to start. We're looking for confirmation, which we've just started those communications now. So we're just getting those meetings kicked off. we've met with facilities once. We need to meet with them another time.
And ISR forms was revised, prepared, and you have signed off at least on one side already?
Chief Scott's reported he's got the superintendent's signature on all the ISR forms, and now we're working on the BOCES superintendent.
Okay. And Douglas is pretty much the same. We had a meeting recently with the design team there, and we're carefully designing so we don't go too far into the design. And we're slowly transitioning from the full pause to a soft pause. And hopefully by next month, we'll be completely off the.
What we're doing with Douglas is we have the base program verification report and a list of requested scope. So we're cleaning up that report so we can give it to the estimators. So that what's important is to price the additional or estimate that additional scope items so that we can then meet with the district on so that they can have the information on the value of each of those requests and then can make a decision on what they want in and what they don't want in. And then we'll have finalized the scope for the job.
That, Mr. Chair and Board, concludes our PM report.
The one of the forms that we need to submit with every time we have a large submittal of all these documents to update has to be signed by a bunch of people. One of whom is me, and I volunteer to go first here because I'm concerned that we're languishing. You know, Pepin reported that we were 92% done, I think you said. That means we spent 92% of the money. That doesn't mean that we finished 92% of all the work. Now, that happens all the time in these projects at this stage. That's not, you know, unique, but, and because they're all front loaded in terms of design and everything else. But you got to pay attention to it because at some point in time, those lines need to cross, you know, and when you're reporting completion, you're actually complete with the project at that level. And we've had so much, back and forth here that I'm concerned that we're bogging down. We're spending too much money getting ready to do something and not doing anything. So I'm hopeful, and you heard the report here, that we're at the point now where we can start to force the issue. Get everything in front of SED and start dealing with the specifics so we can get going with the construction. But, you know, we made progress, and nobody said this wasn't going to take patience. Questions or comments for Pepin?
No question, Ron?
No, I'm good.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, any other items to come before us, folks?
Meeting date, Chairman Richards?
I'm sorry?
Meeting date.
Oh, yeah, meeting date, yeah. We're having a hard time picking a meeting date. It's not that people aren't cooperating, it's just that particularly two elements of our assembled group here, the district and the city, have a series of sort of mandated meetings that they have to go to. And we just simply got to respect that, you know, there's no other choice. And they tend to conflict with each other. So we got a situation here where we have not been able to find a common date that doesn't, you know, knock somebody out. And that's not acceptable. So we're going back to we're going back to the board here and try to find a different time. Maybe by being a little more flexible with the day of the week or even the time of day, we may be able to do better. It won't be ideal, you know, but at least it gives the option for it to be successful. Because I don't want to schedule something here that somebody routinely can't go to and can't participate in. And it's going to get much more important as time goes on here that people can participate. The stuff will be happening and you need to be up to speed on it. So we'll go back to you and try again. And may try to impose some flexibility on your part. the flexibility that I'd ask for is that if there's some things that you could move, that you do it. We understand you can't move the Board of Education meeting, you know, and we're not asking for.
We're not saying that we don't want to.
No, I know, yeah, right. We offered you that, right?
8 o'clock in the morning?
There you go. But,
We have.
yeah, absent offering that, we're gonna have to come up with something else.
Just to be Mondays.
Anything else, folks?
I'd like to review the date that was most popular, Tuesday, 2 to 3.
Yeah, tell them what it was.
Tuesdays, 2 to 3 was the date that was most available for folks. I don't know if that.
So that means we would meet 2 to 3. It's a little less convenient if you, but I'm a little afraid of those times of day is you knock people out in terms of personal showing. You know, because it's in the middle of the day, but maybe it's the best we can do.
Tuesday.
If that's the best you can do, then that's the best you can do.
That would work. I mean,
Works for me.
works for me. I mean, I'm always looking at, of course, school end times, but we can make that work
Well,
on Tuesday. I mean,
They're gonna,
yeah, we can make it
particularly
work.
your job, you're gonna have
We can-
things
we
get in
can-
the
we can
way.
We can make 2 to 3 on Tuesdays. I could.
That's for the summertime also, right?
Yeah,
Good. That's an even better time.
yeah, I suppose you're right, actually, yeah.
You know, we'll stop her during the year.
Maybe I'm working too hard on it, yeah. All right, well, let's, what do you say to this? In order to get off the dime here, we'll schedule the next couple meetings for that time and see how it works. And see if we can, if people can live with it. Okay,
Thank you.
good. I think that's it, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Work session next.
So,
Work session is next.
now I gotta get back at Oasis. I'm gonna have some costs, so, but I don't know it well enough to.
This one on your copies are table.
We go back to.
It's a long one.
5-year. Financial plan. You can see. I know, but what they would predict.